Welcome to another episode of the Spiritual Investor Podcast. I'm just going to jump right in because I'm excited. I may even do a few episodes on this because it is a deep subject and it's one of the most requested things that people seem to want to talk about. And it also is one of the areas that I get the most questions, and that is money neutrality. So let's just start here with back up a bit and go, what are we even doing here with goals? Like, we're all talking about, okay, 2026, the year of the horse, people are going to be setting goals. If you look at it, even the process of setting goals itself, it's very 3D. It's very achievement oriented. It's very, making a list of things that you want to achieve and then trying to figure out how you can work your way into that and still be your authentic self. Doesn't that intrinsically scream effort? Isn't a goal something that intrinsically even contains a distance from you? Because if it's a goal, then it's not part of you. Yet we're all on this journey to just be ourselves and be open and creative and not have to go out there and honestly do things that we don't want to do anymore, because we're now understanding fundamentally the cost of that. So how do you participate in this world of goals and achievement and all of that, yet operate fully based on the energy of the universe, which is the same thing as love, and still keep up your daily tasks, still live in the structure of time? What if that is your real goal? Like, what if your real goal is just to learn how to live a new way? Because in that living of that new way is the allowing in of everything. And what if that is the actual truth that you already feel, and perhaps you didn't know how to put words to it, or perhaps when you look at that as a goal, your stories come up, your conditioning comes up. Well, is that good enough? Will I be lazy? Will I do something? Or really look at the frenzied part of you that has existed in the past around goals, be it setting a goal or not meeting a goal, and ask yourself, do you want to be that version? Because if you're doing an element of the same thing over, you are effectively calling in that version. And I would suffice to say that that version hasn't gotten you what you want, or else it wouldn't be a goal on your list anymore, right? So I've been talking a bit on Instagram about jumping timelines. So if you're interested in that, you can go and look at some of that. We do a lot of work in the Mastermind around money neutrality and jumping timelines and dropping the past. We do a lot of that work. It's very concentrated in the beginning of it, because then it gets you into a new state of allowing where you've never been. And this is the thing with money neutrality. There's no mountaintop. You're always just climbing the mountain and you're getting closer and closer. But the joy of getting close to the mountaintop is equivalent to the mountaintop because it's greater than what you felt before. Money neutrality is that you're never going to be in full money neutrality, but as you get closer to money neutrality, which is the greatest opening to money, what you find is that things become effortless. What you find is that the amount of money coming into your world suddenly is just as easy, if not easier, as the lower amount that was coming into your world before. And when it's a self-expression of who you are, meaning you're not thinking about it and causing yourself to have to do that, then it's sustainable. Sustainability comes from the self-expression of what you want and who you are. It's the alignment of those two things. And so, in my mind, you're better off doing the work to not be the old version of who you were and therefore be in money neutrality, because you don't work your way into money neutrality. You allow your way into money neutrality. It is effectively a letting go and a letting in. The work is done by not becoming the version of you who isn't in money neutrality. And it can be an awkward thing to do. And because it is of the universal world, it's not something that people are typically equipped to just give me these top 5 practices. There is a practice within it as a support system, but using the mastermind as an example, I bring the elements into it that I know need to be brought into it, and typically they are similar to the ones that I've run in different masterminds, but they're always custom to the energy of the container, which is why we do an application process. And honestly, it's why it works so well. It's why the masterminds are overfull. Like, they are getting so big. And we just did a team debrief yesterday of 2025, and it is shocking. I think they have gotten, if I'm not wrong, 4.5 times bigger from the last one we ran to the one at the beginning of the year. So we ran 4 in 2025. I don't even know that we will run 4 in 2026. We have one coming out. We're open for enrollment now for one that starts on February 3rd. And we do payment plans because it is something that I don't want it to be completely out of bounds, because I know that you going vertical on this for 12 weeks, you won't recognize yourself. No one does. They typically start saying that around week 3, actually. But part of it becomes the solidification of it, right? Because what happens is we jump timelines and then we rubber band back. We're not always in that new timeline. And part of the work to stay in that new timeline is having the similar circumstances come up, and then you are looking at them in a new way, and you are reacting to them in a new way. And I hate to even use the word reacting because that has sort of like a negative connotation. But anything that you are choosing to lean into and give your energy is in effect a reaction. And we have to move away from this, it's a good reaction, it's a bad reaction. 2025, we all know, was chaotic, right? We all had a lot of shit going on in 2025. I feel like I literally lived on either side of the polarity. It's really my now settling into the neutrality of it all that is now going to allow all that 2025 brought me in. Because when you're in the storm of it, it is, how are you moving through it? But there's also when the dust settles, are you going to look back and not be that version? Or is that version going to come up again, because that's the way it works, and then you're going to get to be the new version in the face of it? So I'm going to suggest or invite, however you want to look at it, that you do something radically different. I'm going to suggest that your goal for 2026 be to be in money neutrality, because then you don't need to think about an amount. You don't need to set all of these things that are not part of you. You don't need to actually agree to something that you don't know how to do yet. Because money neutrality, you may say, well, how do I do that? Well, you're here. You're getting this here. You're getting this. I talk a lot about this on Instagram. Also, you can come into the mastermind, whatever you choose, how you want to do this. But I would make it to be in money neutrality, because then the amount that comes to you is unlimited. And there are multiple ways that you can get to money neutrality. And as I said, hang out here and I will continue going through it with you. But something that I want to say is that you know that you're in money neutrality when it becomes effortless, as I said earlier. And you know that you're in money neutrality when there is a normalization of the new amount of money that's coming into your world as opposed to what came in before. Like, you can't be the version who only made $500 a month, probably. That would be weird to you. You'd almost have to be someone that you're not, right? But the version that makes $80,000 a month, don't you want to know that version? Because that's how you're getting there. You're getting there by the curiosity and the discovery of, how does she run her day? What does she feel like? What is she doing? What's important to her then? Now, sometimes you go there and you get afraid. What if she turns into this horrible, greedy bastard? What if it's so stressful to have that much money? What if you don't fit into your family and your friends anymore? Like, I get all of that. But part of being in money neutrality, if that's your goal, is choosing your goal. So where does your energy go? Is your energy going to that? Or are you just going to simply, in a very non-emotional way, go, well, I guess I'll see when I get there. I'm choosing money neutrality because I want to see when I get there. And that is you leaning on the structure of who you've built yourself to be. You know, we all like to talk about, we've expanded into greater consciousness, right? We're more powerful than we've ever been. Well, are you going to give that version of you a stage to show up on? Because you're not. If you're not choosing money neutrality, if you're not choosing the greater version of what you want, then you're not actually setting up the match of the greater version of who you are. And so I want to leave this here with you because I think conceptually, I think you will be able to find where does this land with you. I also think the timing is really great for this because we're about to get into the new year and we're going to have all of this talk going around us. And I guess if I had something that I would sort of wish for you, it would be for you to stand strongly, be very rooted in not just what you want, because what you want and who you're energetically being can be so distant that you just end up in a lack state of being. What I really would wish for you is that you are firmly rooted in my goal is X, and if that's money neutrality, then that would be your state of being. And I am excited to discover who that version of me is every moment, every day, every month, who lives into that. And I'm more interested in that than I am the results that are going to come in. When you do that, you're not saying you're not interested in those results. You're not saying you don't care. You're saying you're not interested in seeing the evidence of that because you don't need to see the evidence of that. So your not interest is actually getting rid of the attachment. And when you don't have an attachment, guess what happens? The universe steps in. And so effectively what you're doing is you are swapping achievement in the 3D for money neutrality, which is actually a stronger invite. And it allows you to be exactly who you are in the background at the same time, which ironically is what you're trying to be by getting to your goals the 3D way. So thank you for co-creating this with me. I'll see you on the next episode.